You are listening to the Keep the Weight Off podcast with Dr. Angela, episode number 54.
Welcome to the Keep the Weight Off podcast, where we bust all the dieting myths and discover not just how to lose weight, but more importantly, how to keep it off. We go way beyond the food, and we use science and psychology to give you strategies that work. And now your host, Dr. Angela Zechmann.
All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to this week's podcast. Hey, Marshall. How you doing?
I'm doing really good.
Oh, good. I am so excited today. I've just been working so hard, and I have a special announcement for all those of you who don't already know that the doors to the Done with Dieting Bootcamp are finally open for real. And so I wanted to explain a little bit more. I've kind of hinted at it in the past, but I really want to explain a little bit more about what this boot camp is. So it's called the 30-day Done with Dieting Bootcamp. So it's 30 days. And basically it's designed to be the first month of your journey back to lasting health. So what I'm doing is for 30 days, I'm basically holding your hand. That's basically what I'm doing. So every day for 30 days, you get a new video from me each day. They range from about 5 to 10 minutes long. You also get a downloadable workbook. So it's like a digital workbook, and you can download the workbook and follow along. The workbook has questions for you to answer. It has quizzes for you to take. And it's got 30 days worth of a food journal so that you can plan. So it's a planner. Okay. And what I'm teaching you in this 30 days is exactly what it takes to lose weight and keep it off. So again, I try to keep the videos relatively short, so there's not too much to take in any one day. But I've also, provided you with the information that you need, the science that you need. So if you go through this program as it's designed, by the end of the first month, you're going to be a totally different person. And we see this all the time in the clinic when people take what I've taught them and they apply it. And, they come in and they're overweight and they're tired and they're feeling like crap and they're all achy. And sometimes they even have appointments with rheumatologists and other types of specialists to see if they can fix their problems with their joints and their aches and their pains.
And wasting money on Jenny Craig.
Yeah. And then they come back in a month and they're like, I canceled the appointment. I just don't need it. I feel so much better. So I can guarantee you're going to be a different person if you do this 30 days. You're going to have shifted your metabolism from someone whose insulin levels are running sky high and wreaking havoc in your body to someone whose metabolism is much, much healthier. And I was just talking to a client the other day. She's a woman in her 60s, and she's taken what I teach, and she'd been at this for about maybe 2 or 3 weeks. She'd already lost 7 pounds on the scale. Now, I told her, we don't know for sure that that's 7 pounds of fat. We just had that talk last week. But she said the most remarkable thing is that she's just feeling so much better. She said she's not having mood swings anymore. She's not feeling depressed. Now, she moved to the Pacific Northwest from Southern California, and our Pacific Northwest winters are difficult. They're notorious for clouds and rain this time of year. And she's like, I don't have any seasonal affective disorder. Like, this isn't a problem for me. She said she has much better energy, no more cravings for junk food, no more crazy hunger. She's not taking any new medications. She hasn't even made it through the full 30 days yet, and she's already noticed profound changes. So that's what I want you all to know is possible in just 30 days. And that's what I can promise you when you sign up for Done with Dieting. Profound changes in a very short period of time. We see it all the time in the clinic. I like to say I have the best job in the world. And wouldn't you agree, Marshall?
We both have the best jobs in the world.
We have the best jobs in the world. Yes. Yeah. Now, I want to point out that if you truly are done with dieting, there are some things that you'll need to change in your thinking. Essentially, you're going to want to stop using diet language. So I want to explain what I mean by diet language. Because if you've been struggling with your weight for years, maybe even decades, like most of us, you've probably developed some well-ingrained thinking patterns or habits of thought that are actually quite detrimental. And so I want to point these out. Essentially, diet language is the language of deprivation and judgment, and sometimes, even oftentimes, there's shame. So it's the language of shame and judgment. So here are some examples. Have you ever said, I can't have that? How often have you said that to yourself? Have you ever said that to yourself, Marshall?
I definitely have said that. And if you want me to like name names on the dieting programs that like do not work, okay, Weight Watchers, you can only have like these many calories. Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. It's diet language. Okay. So
yeah.
Don't do it. Jenny Craig just hands you your meals and says, you can only eat this.
Yeah.
For this amount of time, right? And you're going to lose. That's diet. Like all these things, all these places that we turn to try to lose weight, because as women, we, it's like we're so judgmental on ourselves, right? So we want to try this thing that's going to work. And there's always these trends. Okay. There's this, whatever, the Mediterranean diet or, the 30-10, all these things, like beach body. And so that's all, like all that is like, this entity that tells you that you can't have this and you can't have that.
Yep.
And then your mind starts going like, okay, I can do it for a little while.
Right.
But then something snaps when, because we all do that. And then we not only gain the weight back, but we gain more weight. And that is science. Okay. And Angela does talk about that in a podcast.
Yep.
But it's like this stuff that we do to our minds is so deeply ingrained that we just really have to just realize that this is a lifestyle change. It's not it's forever. Like you're done. There's no going back. Once you know this stuff, you can't unknow it. So you can't go back.
You can't. It's true.
Right.
All right. So what I want to point out about when you tell yourself, I can't have that. This is the language of deprivation. So there's a feeling of powerlessness about this, a sense that someone else has control of what you can eat and what you can't eat.
Right.
I really want you to think carefully about this. I'm not just talking to you, Marshall. I'm talking to all of our podcast listeners. You can eat you can eat anything you want. It's just that some things that are considered food are actually toxic poisons and are going to cause long-term suffering for you. So do you really want to say, I can't have that? Or would it be better to think, I choose not to eat that because now I realize it's just as toxic as cigarettes? How's that sound?
So Michelle is another provider in your clinic, and I'm not sure if everybody knows about her. So Michelle Warner is another provider in the clinic, and she and I had a pretty in-depth talk about this subject. We talked about what is the most toxic thing. Is it heroin? Is it alcohol? Is it cigarettes? Is it sugar? And I asked Michelle, like, what's the most damaging thing to your body? She said sugar.
Yeah.
Out of all the things, out of all the drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, everything, she said sugar. And I was like, wait a minute, why would sugar be the worst? And why would we be so addicted to something that is completely toxic to your body? Okay. There's no nutritional value and it's toxic to your body. We're all Americans. I can't say everybody because, that's too general, but, on generally speaking, Americans are addicted to sugar, right? And like we just said, it's toxic. There's no nutritional value. Well, she said it's because of the dopamine hit that it gives your brain, right?
Right.
So that's something that we have to realize. It has nothing to do with your stomach. It has everything to do with your mind, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yeah. So don't ever say, I can't have that. Say,
right.
I choose not to. I mean, that's what I think when I look at a pizza, like, no, thanks. I'm not interested in pizza because I am interested in living a vibrant, healthy life.
Right. Because you're thinking with your mind, not your stomach.
Yeah, exactly. So here's another example of things that people will say when they're in that diet mentality. I just had a salad. I just had a salad. It's like, wow, that's more deprivation thinking. Salads are wonderful. What do you mean I just had a salad? How about I had a delicious, beautiful salad for lunch, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've heard that 1,000 times. Like,
yeah.
And I've even done it myself. Like, oh God, I just had a salad.
Yeah, exactly. Like I deprived myself and I just had a salad. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. And it wasn't
How about
good
this
at
one?
all.
Here's another one. I made myself something special while everybody else ate normal food.
I hear that all the time with families.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, why? Because, the mother, when she starts, eating healthy or,
eating normally.
The lingo is eating normal. Sorry.
Yeah.
She has to make her own meal and the rest of the family eats something else.
Right. Exactly.
Because they want spaghetti or whatever, So
right.
then she's like, and here I am, sitting all by myself, eating my salad or whatever,
Exactly.
And so, it's like that. Yeah. I think that happens so much in families.
There's this sort of self-pity, poor me thing that goes on, right?
Right.
So we talked a couple of weeks ago about redefining what normal food is, right? So if you make yourself a nourishing meal while everyone else eats spaghetti and garlic bread, you're going to be healthy while everyone else is going to suffer bloating, fatigue, and weight gain.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you might not be able to convince other family members right away that spaghetti and garlic bread is actually not good for them. So you might go ahead and make it for them, but please don't call nourishing whole food something special or diet food. Okay? So that's how I want you to make that shift. Think of spaghetti and garlic bread as toxic food, and you're just eating normal, healthy, nourishing food. Right. That's a huge shift.
It's about your mind.
Yep, it's a huge shift.
Yeah.
Okay, here's something else people say when they're dieting. I cheated, or I had a cheat day. And this is classic diet language. I used to do it too. And it's the idea that I'm depriving myself all the time. So I need a day where I can just eat whatever I want, which is my cheat day. That's your cheat day. So this is classic deprivation thinking, where you're eating nourishing foods purely for the weight loss benefit, and you really have no intention of giving up toxic food, and you're just waiting for that day when you get to eat your cheat meal.
Well, I have to say, like on the other end of that, I'm gonna compliment that, because you're starting to shift your mind into, it's like a transition where even if you have that cheat day, because you still have that emotional relationship with food, right? Mm-hmm. But if you get to where you're only doing it that one day, it's this transition, like you're shifting into this other way of thinking, right? Where you know what's right and you're doing what's right, all week long, and then you slip, you purposely slip because it's mindful. It's not, it's you choose to do it.
That's a splurge.
To that. Yep, exactly. And you go back to like that old behavior. You're still transitioning from like that emotional connection with food, because you're grieving the loss of like, it's not, I mean, there's so much to this. Like, you're grieving the loss of like this connection with food. So if you don't have that cheat day, you don't get to go back to that connection, And so when you have this cheat day, like you're doing everything right, and you're starting to get it, because I know you're feeling good, because I've done this. Like you feel good when you've been eating really, really well for 4 days or 5 days. And then you go back to that way of eating. It has to do with this emotional connection with it. It's not really the food. It's like this thing that makes you feel good. So I have to compliment you if you're there where you can eat 4 days well, and you splurge one day, like you're getting there.
Yeah.
So pat yourself on the back.
Exactly.
There, right? You're getting there. Like it's not, you don't want to stay in that place, but you're getting there. So
it's a process.
Next step,
always a process. Yeah.
Right.
Well, when it comes to old eating patterns, I like to use the word slip and splurge. So I want to explain what I mean by that. A slip is when you eat something that's not good for you because you slip back into some old habits. It wasn't really planned. It's just that an old brain pathway got triggered for some reason. Maybe it was an emotional upset, or maybe it was just fatigue. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But what you do need to do is work at recovering quickly so that you don't end up beating yourself up about it, right? Because beating yourself up about it will just keep you in that shame cycle and you'll stay eating that crap food. So recover quickly. We teach you all of these skills in the Empowered Weight Loss membership, which is where you go when you're done with dieting. You get into the membership if you want to. What's a splurge? A splurge is when you decide on purpose at least 24 hours in advance that you're going to eat something that's not particularly nourishing, but that brings pleasure. So, for example, if it's your wedding anniversary and you're going out for a nice meal, or if it's the holiday and you're going to have a Christmas dinner, or if it's your birthday and you're going to have a piece of birthday cake, that would be a splurge. And there's nothing wrong with the occasional splurge as long as you keep in mind that it could trigger your brain chemistry, right? For me, I have to be super, super careful when I splurge, because I have to be prepared that I'm going to trigger cravings for a few days, and I have to be ready to manage the cravings.
That is a slippery slope.
It can be a very slippery slope.
For me, it is.
Yeah. So instead of saying you cheated, which is classic diet language, use the word slip. Either I slipped up and got into some old habits, or I decided to have a splurge, and a splurge would be at least 24 hours in advance that you made that decision to have that splurge. Okay. Now here's some more diet language. I was good, or I was bad. This is classic all or none thinking. We talked about all or none thinking a few weeks ago. Remember that each of us is both good and bad. We all do things well, and we all make mistakes. And it's fine if your journey's a little bit messy. It's okay. You're never good or bad. You're both. Okay. Here's something else people will say.
Not matter.
Yeah. Here's something else people will say. I'm doing everything right and I'm not losing any weight. Now, we talked about this last week. We hear this when people are very rigid, trying to stick to a super low calorie eating plan, and often they're over exercising. This can be
still thinking like a diet plan at that point.
Yeah, this can be, but not always, an indicator that this person is approaching this from the calorie deprivation dieting mentality. Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
Sometimes people over like their expectations are still like super like, I need to lose this much by this time, and when it doesn't happen, then why is this not happening? And that is still like diet, because it's like almost like your brain is waiting to get to that point so bad.
Yes.
And when you get there, then you can be free again, right?
Yes.
When yes. So they're still not looking at like, this is a lifetime thing. It doesn't go away. You don't get cured. You don't say like, oh, can I come into the clinic and I'm going to get cured and sick? It doesn't work like it. Like, this is a disease. And that's what I love about you, Angela, so much, is that you understand that.
Yeah.
And like, you really have changed my mind about so many, like, I don't even know what I would do without you, because honestly, my whole life has changed, because I came in such a broken person doing all that I've done. Man, I spent $1,000 on Jenny Craig. I lost 1 pound.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Because I just couldn't, it didn't work for me. None of that stuff worked for me, because I was just addicted to food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had this emotional, and I still fight that. I have this emotional relationship with food. What sounds good, what tastes good, what's going to make me feel good that day, what looks pretty, what can I feed other people that's going to make them happy during Christmas, what kind of cookies can I make, what kind of birthday cake am I going to do that's going to be amazing to make everybody, you know, it's sugar. And I never realized all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so like this is such a mind shift. Like, you just never, this all is so, you guys have to do Done with Dieting boot camp, because if you don't, you're not going to understand the stuff that I'm saying, because it changes your life. It is information that changes your life. It's not, here, we're going to make you eat this food that's in a bag for 90 days, you know, where you're going to eat our powdered food, you know, or you're going to do this for 90 days and you're going to lose this much weight, right? But we're not going to tell you anything that's going to keep you healthy for your life, right? There's no information involved. It's just do this and you'll lose weight. Okay. So this is exactly the opposite. This is I'm going to give you information that you can't ever unknow. And once you know it, it's going to change your life forever. You never go back. Once you see things for the way they are.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited. We're done with the dieting boot camp. Like, let's do this.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. How about this? Have you heard this? I burned 400 calories on the elliptical this morning. Ever heard anybody say that? I've heard it a lot.
Now I can eat a pizza.
Exactly. This is
that's the way I think.
This is the
classic donut because I went and did the elliptical.
Exactly. This is the classic position of trading in exercise calories for food splurges, right? This is never going to work long term.
That's me 100%. When before I met you, I was just like, "Hey, I just got off the elliptical. You want to go get a pizza?"
Exactly. So you can't out exercise a bad diet, guys. You just can't. So that's never going to work. So just be aware of that. Sometimes I'll hear
with Zumba. If I did a Zumba class, then I could go eat pizza. Like,
right.
That was my thing. I loved it. It was like Tuesday and Thursday. I got to like do what I wanted because I did Zumba.
Right.
So, I don't know if any of you guys have done that, but it's me.
Oh, I have for sure. All right. Here's another one I hear a lot. My spouse is supporting me in this program.
Oh, heck yeah. We hear that. What? I mean, that's
diet language.
Yeah.
And the diet language is in the word program. So this person is thinking, I'm on a diet program because I'm overweight and I need to lose weight.
Right.
So there's this underlying identity of being an overweight person. But then there's also this idea that I'm eating in a freaky way in order to lose weight. And by the way, my spouse is supporting my freaky eating habits.
Yeah. And if it's a program, it means that you go in and you pay money and then you get what you need to lose 30 pounds. Because the goal is I gain some weight and I have like maybe a wedding to go to or a vacation, whatever. Or my spouse doesn't think I'm attractive or I don't think I'm attractive. I need to lose 30 pounds. Like, what's going to get me there? Right. So they walk in going, what do I need to do to lose 30 pounds? They don't care about like the year from now. They don't even see a year from now. All they see is this goal weight, this 30 pounds. Yeah. That's all they care about. And so, that's definitely, and on spouses, we do that to each other all the time. Like, I mean, even my husband and I have done that in the past. Like, I shame him, he shames me. Like, oh, we got to lose like 20 pounds. It's always this number.
Yeah.
There's always a number involved. When you put a number on it or you say program, that means it's a thing that has a beginning and an end. And it's a short term.
Really good point. Really good point. Yeah. So we call this dieting for a deadline. So if people will say, I got to lose weight for my wedding or my class reunion or my son's wedding or my daughter's wedding. Like, I don't want to show up and get pictures taken of me overweight. I need to, I don't want to have this happy day of my life memorialized with me looking like this. So got to get the weight off, And so that's dieting for a deadline. And usually what happens is people feel pretty desperate and they're starving themselves. So we talked last time about what that does to your brain, because that's guaranteed to backfire and you're going to end up gaining more weight later because our brains and our bodies know exactly what to do when the famine hits. And we're just going to store fat like crazy later.
Sustainable weight loss happens slowly. That's what people do not understand is they want to do 30 pounds super quick. They don't understand that the chemistry of your body doesn't react like that. Your body cannot comprehend losing 30 pounds because it starts going like, whoa, what are you doing to me? Yeah. And, it's fighting it. It starts fighting it. Like, what are you doing? This is not okay. Like, I don't want to get rid of any of this because your body wants to store energy, right? So when you're like 30 pounds really quick, then, and your body's fighting it, that is not sustainable weight loss. It never has been. It never will be. That's why this is like a lifetime thing, because you want your body to be able to be used to your weight loss. Because otherwise, if anything goes wrong, it's going to go right back to where it was, if not worse. Yeah. If you have sustained, what I've noticed about myself is like, I'm kind of in a slump right now. I gained some weight since July when I went to Mexico. But for some reason, my body has been forgiving, and I'm still like at this same weight for a really long time, even though like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, because I have sustainable weight loss.
Yeah.
There's a big difference, because your body's more forgiving when you have sustainable weight loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, it is just a thing that people are not told about, which we should have been telling this from the start. I don't know why things got the way that they did, but sustainable weight loss is so amazing because it lasts for so long.
Yeah. Well, sustainable weight loss means that you learn how to manage your emotions without food or alcohol. That you no longer have this emotional relationship with food, that instead you have an emotional relationship with yourself, and you know how to manage yourself. That's what we teach in the membership. That's the stuff that we teach.
That doesn't just happen by saying, "Oh, hey, you need to do this and not do this." Okay,
exactly.
This is some work. Like,
or having somebody deliver
hard things. Okay,
yeah,
this
exactly.
is a lot of like mind shifting. And if you don't have a support group, okay, so if you're going to really do this is what I have to say. If you're really ready to do this and you really want like lasting happiness, lasting weight loss, lasting vibrant, happy body, then this is not going to be easy. It's not easy. You have to do hard things, which means you have to dig deeper, because it means you have to quit having an emotional relationship with food.
Yep.
And that is really hard if you don't have a support group.
Yeah. Yeah. Because having a support group is huge.
Right. An accountability buddy, you can call it that. You can call it, your tribe. You can call it your community.
Yep.
Okay, whatever you want to call it, you have to have a support system in place if you really want to do the deep work, because you're going to need somebody to talk to. You're going to need some guidance. You're going to need, when you get to a different level, you're going to need the information to get you to the next place. Because I'm telling everybody, this is a mind shift. It's not about your stomach. It's not about what you're eating. It's not about getting full.
Yeah.
Okay. It's about changing the way you think about yourself. And that's huge, because
it is.
For me, I have a lot of defects. I mean, I had a crap childhood. I mean, and I, carried that into my teenage years, and I starved myself when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Did all that kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden I met Angela Zechmann. She's the biggest blessing in my life.
Oh, you're so sweet.
But you started questioning like all the stuff that I thought, and I was like, wait a minute, you don't just starve yourself and lose weight? Like, that's what I've always been taught. But then when I decided to do this, it became so much more, because I don't think of myself the same way as I used to.
Yeah.
I'm not that person anymore.
Yay.
Like, I'm okay. Like, I have confidence. I'm okay with, not being perfect. I know I'm awesome now. And so now that started to make me feel full inside, where I didn't have to fill myself up with food.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, let's fill ourselves with our own selves. And it's just awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I met you. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you. Well, you are too.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we teach all of these skills in the Empowered Weight Loss membership, which, once you're done with the Done with Dieting boot camp, then you'll have the opportunity to hang out in our membership. You actually get to be in the membership as you are going through the Done with Dieting boot camp. And we offer group coaching. We offer individual coaching. We have a
community, like
secret private Facebook community.
Supporting each other.
Yeah. So I've tried to think of everything. And if anything's missing, I hope people will let me know. But I really am trying to give everybody the skills, because losing weight and keeping it off is one of the most difficult things that you'll ever do. But the weight loss journey, if you do it right, if you do it correctly, meaning if you take it to heart and make some of these changes in your thinking, what's going to happen is you can use all of the skills that you use to lose weight to change everything else about your life too, because these skills are transferrable.
Bingo. Yep. That's what I wanted to say. You just summed it up. Like, I just have to say, and I'm not sure who's listening to this, if you really want to change your life, because quit spending money on all these stupid diet programs that you invest in. And yeah, you may lose 20, 30 pounds and then you gain it all back. Then you have to invest in the next diet, trend.
Yeah.
Okay. Stop spending your money on that shit, because you're going to be doing it forever, because that's the point of them. They want you to be dependent on their product, their information. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is not like that. This is changing your mindset and not having the emotional relationship with food, because no matter what you pay for, whatever, all these diet programs, they never address your emotional relationship with food. All they do is say, oh, portion control, or, oh, counting calories, or they never say like, hey, you have a shitty relationship with food. Mm-hmm. Okay. Saying, and I don't know how it happened, but you do. And we're going to tell you what that is, and not we, actually Angela. Angela's going to tell you like what that means and the science behind it. And then you start to become empowered, because you start to know things that I don't know why nobody's ever told you before, because we should have all known this stuff. And once you start knowing that, you become a different person. And then like, even talking sometimes when you're like, okay, like, remember back, Marshall? I can't remember back, because once you know this stuff, you don't know it. And I've never, ever gone back to the place that I started when I first met you. Yeah. And it's been 4 years. Yeah. Okay. And
remember, you were eating pretzels. You were eating pretzels all day.
I thought pretzels were like an okay snack.
Yeah. And I remember saying,
I know.
Yeah, you were sitting up at the.
Are these?
You were sitting up at the front desk eating pretzels while you were checking people out. I'm like, what the heck's going
on? I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Like, no clue. Okay, I came from this other clinic where we had like snack drawers, and all of us nurses and medical assistants would have our own snack drawer, and we'd all share snacks, and all we would do was like eat, because we were so stressed. That was it. We had this super stressful job, and the only thing that like made us happy and is these breaks of like sweets. Like, what did you bring? What did you bring?
Oh my gosh.
We would like share snacks. Okay. And that was just a thing. So when I got the job with you, I just thought, I'm just going to bring my snack drawer and put it here up at my desk, right? Because I thought it was like a normal thing. And you walked in and you're like, are you eating pretzels? Yeah. And you're like, do you realize you can't do this? They're like, do you realize how bad those are for you? And I honestly had no clue what you were talking. I'm like, what do you mean they're bad for you? Like, you told me, it was so funny. One time you told me, you said, Marshall, the reason why you snack so much is because you think your snacks have no calories, right? Yeah. Do you remember when you said that to me?
Yeah.
Because I'm still calorie thinking, right?
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't eat meals, and because I thought, oh God, if I just don't eat meals around her and I just like secret snack, and I could like do what I want and she'll never know. I did all the tricks. Okay. I've done all of it. Okay. The thing is it's not about your stomach. Okay. Yeah. It's about your mind. And once everybody realizes it's about your mind and not about your stomach, then this thing happens where you're like, whoa, I have a thinking problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a thinking problem. And this information is a solution. That's all I have to say. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, don't waste your money on the bullshit. Let's do this. It's 2022.
Yeah. It is.
This year. We all want a better year because we've had such like this. I mean, these last 2 years, we say like, maybe next year it'll be better. And it just gets worse. Like, let's just do something good for ourselves that we have control over.
Exactly.
Which is like changing your mind and making yourself a better person and feeling good and feeling healthy.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Marshall. That's perfect. All right. Well, thanks to all of you for listening. And I just want you to, you don't have to fix anything right now. I just want you to bring awareness to the kinds of things that you say to yourself and to others that perpetuate this idea of being on a diet. And then just write them down whenever you hear yourself thinking or saying any of these kinds of things. So I just had a salad, or I cheated, or I'm in a program, or, I'm burning calories to trade it in for food splurges, all of that, all of that. I'm always listening to my patients, and they know that if I hear these sorts of things, I'm going to nail them instantly. Obviously, with love, and with their best interest at heart. By the way, did you know you've been saying things like, we got to have a little chat here? So
I messaged you last night and I said, hey, I just had a conversation with my mom. She wants to do Weight Watchers. What do you think about it? Because I don't even know what I don't know a whole lot about Weight Watchers. And you just simply responded, it's a diet.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, I get you. And then it was so, because I was expecting like, this elaborate, like they do this and that and this and that. You just said it's a diet, and I mean, that was enough for me. I was like, okay, now I know what to say. It was that was great.
Yeah. All right, so we've got to wrap this up. So I just want to let everybody know that this has been a lot of fun, ton of fun. And remember to sign up for the Done With Dieting 30-day bootcamp if you're ready to have me help you jumpstart your weight loss.
If you're listening to this, you're ready.
I think so. If you've listened all the way through now, you're ready.
Yeah.
And we'll put a sign-up link in the show notes for you. You could also just go to www.journeybeyondweightloss.com and it'll be there. And we will see you guys next week. So take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye, everybody.
Hey, if you really want to lose weight and keep it off for good, your next step is to sign up for Dr. Angela's free weight loss course, where you're going to learn everything you need to get started on your weight loss journey the right way. Just head over to journeybeyondweightloss.com/free course to sign up. Also, it would be awesome if you could take a few moments and write a review on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you in Journey Beyond Weight Loss.